Guys, it's 2023. You'd think that we'd know how to take care of turtles at this point. I mean, I've been making turtle care videos for almost like the past 5 years. People have been keeping turtles like way longer than that. And yet even now, when I see other people's setups, or like I go to somebody's house and I see their turtle setup, or I do a react video and people send in their tanks, there's still some things with turtle care that people just seem to miss. And so I thought I should make a quick little video about things in turtle care that need to stop in 2023. I hope you're excited. If you are, hit the thumbs up. Let's get into it. Okay, so there are the very obvious things that I think we've left behind. So obviously keeping your turtle in too small of a tank, or even worse, a turtle death bowl. That needs to stop. That should not even be a question. Most people these days, I think, know that a turtle needs like a substantially sized tank. If you're talking a Red Ear Slider, like a 75 gallon. And so that's pretty simple. Most people know to provide turtles with like a basking area, at least aquatic turtles. Let me clarify, what we're talking about in this video are aquatic turtles. So like most people know you need like a big tank and a basking area. But the number one thing that for whatever reason people seem to miss is you need to provide heat and UVB bulbs for your turtle above their basking area. Not just a heat bulb, not just a UVB bulb, but they need both. Now I've done videos about lighting, you can go check those out on the channel, but the quick rundown of it is basically when they're basking, you want that lighting to mimic the sun. And the sun is not only UVB rays that's helping them with processing calcium and growing their shell, but it's also heat. So this is aiding their metabolism. Reptiles are cold-blooded, so they need to be kept at certain temperatures so that they can be able to digest their food, so that they can have energy. You need a heat and UVB bulb. Now, there are certain bulbs that can provide both, namely mercury vapor bulbs. But for the most part, you are going to have a separate bulb for your heat and a separate bulb for your UVB. So just bear that in mind. Anytime I see a tank with only one light above it, and they're like, oh yeah, he has basking lighting. Well, does that provide both heat and UVB? If you don't, this is where we see issues like shell rot and deformed shells and shells not developing properly, stuck shed. Get your turtle the proper basking lighting. The second thing is having a filter but not using sufficient filtration. A lot of times turtle kits or specially marketed turtle filters will be like those little Whisper internal filters. I see a good amount of people still using those, but in my personal experience and in many people's personal experience, you need to be over filtering your turtle tank. I say over filtering because you're actually filtering it sufficiently. This is why like my tanks are so clean, is because there is so much water turnover. Now again, there's gonna be videos on like everything I'm talking about in this video, but just again, for a general overview, you should be providing a filter that is rated for 2 to 3 times the size of the tank. So if you're having a 40-gallon tank, you want a filter rated for at least 80 gallons or more, or use multiple filters, however you wanna cut it, however you wanna skin the cat. Sorry, that's a really bad saying, especially for animal people. I don't know how that came about, but anyway. Good filtration. This will help you so much. I see people who are like, why is my tank so dirty? Why does it smell? Why is it gross? It's because you don't have sufficient filtration. Pick a filter with a good amount of space for both mechanical media, for like the stuff that's gonna take the actual waste particles out of your aquarium and trap it in the filter, and then also for biological media, so stuff that's gonna have the beneficial bacteria that is breaking down the waste. And I'm sorry, I'm like very energetic in this video because I still can't believe there are people who, well, I can believe it, that's why I'm making this video, but it's just, this information is readily available, but again, I feel like it's helpful to have it reiterated. So next thing, kind of hand in hand with filtration, is water changes. I don't know why, there's people like this both with aquariums and also turtle tanks, but sometimes people just think you can set up a tank and their aquarium and just let it be. Once it's set up, once the filter's in there, you never have to do any maintenance again. That is so untrue. You need to be doing water changes on your turtle tank, on your aquarium. I mean, if you think about it, it's an enclosed system. Although the waste is still being processed and like trapped in the filter, it's still kind of just sitting within this closed system. So every other week, at least this is what I do, my suggestion is every other week, change 20 to 30% of the water, more if necessary, but you need to be having frequent water changes to actually remove the water that has been dirtied and to put fresh water in. This will make sure that your aquarium is staying clean and that your turtle is not literally sitting in a pool of its own filth, okay? Do water changes. Now you know better, so no excuses. The next thing, stop overfeeding your turtle. I feel like this is less common, maybe because it's just like I can't directly observe it when I'm like reacting to people's turtle setups, but I do know that a fair amount of people have an issue with overfeeding their turtle. Keep in mind, turtles are reptiles and they're also slow growers. And so sometimes, depending on the age of your turtle, even feeding them once a day can be too often. At least in my opinion. I mean, I've been feeding my turtles probably 3 times a week for the past however long I've been keeping turtles, and they are just fine. They're alive and well, they're happy, they're not overweight. But depending on the age of your turtle, don't be overfeeding them, don't be feeding them twice a day. With hatchling turtles, like that is when you can be feeding them every day, but like as they start to get older, once they're hitting 3-4 years and their growth starts slowing down, also slow down on the feeding. They don't need like a ton to be able to keep them going. One thing I forgot to mention was decorations. You guys, let's stop putting our turtles in really bare tanks. I see this all the time in my Turtle Tank React series. People just don't give enough enrichment, enough natural wood, natural rocks. We need to have things in there for the turtle to interact with so that they can feel enriched, so that they have stuff in their environment to explore. It doesn't have to be tricky. We can just have some rocks and wood in here. Even this tank could use more decorations. So I'm just saying, provide more things for your turtle to interact with, for them to reach the surface, to swim around. I know sometimes it can be tricky and like live plants, it doesn't really work out, but it's totally worth a shot. Your turtles will love you for it, for being able to have things that they can explore around. So do not underestimate the power of decorations. Another thing, filling the turtle tank halfway up. Guys, turtles are really good swimmers unless you have a species that is specifically like native to places where they need shallower water or they are known to be weak swimmers. So for example, like reefs turtles, mud turtles, in that case, it's probably fine if you fill the tank only halfway up. But pretty much every other turtle species, sliders, painteds, maps, even like side necks, even musk turtles. I keep musk turtles in deep water, they do just fine. So no need to be filling your tank halfway up. Fill that sucker up, get the water volume up. This will also help keep the tank cleaner because there's more water volume and more dilution, and then also your turtle has more space to swim. So I know that the stereotypical turtle tank is filled halfway up. You don't have to do that. Get an above tank basking area if you really want to maximize the swimming space. And then finally, this is a big one, and I think a lot of people miss it. I did make a video on this specifically, but if you're not searching for that, you might not find that information. And if you don't do enough research, it's very easy to, not know this. Don't feed your turtles goldfish or rosy red minnows, anything from kind of like the goldfish minnow family, because these fish actually contain thiomanase, which blocks the absorption of vitamin B. Vitamin B1 specifically, I believe that it is. And so basically it can just have some adverse effects long term. I would personally recommend like feeder guppies or something of that sort. That can be a much healthier option for your turtle, especially because like goldfish and rosy red minnows that are bred as feeders, the quality of those is like a little bit sketchy sometimes, and you wouldn't want to be passing on, any sicknesses or like pathogens, or what's the word that I'm looking for? Like parasites. It's just a possibility. And with live bears, like say you make a breeder guppy tank, a feeder guppy tank, and because they're live bears, they'll just reproduce and you can feed your turtle that. And that way you know the source of where your turtle's food is coming for. But the main point is just be very wary of feeding goldfish, rosy red minnows, things like that. All right, so that's enough do nots and things that need to stop for turtle care. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you learned something new. Again, if I forgot anything, please leave a comment down below. We can all share our knowledge down there, things that we think need to stop in turtle care. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, hit the thumbs up down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. Have a totally awesome day. Bye!